What's going on, guys and gals? This is Veteran Trainer Hawk, and do I have an awesome video for you guys today. Pokemon is a franchise that has been a huge part of my life, and I've been following the games and anime ever since their very first installments. With that being said, over 20 plus years of Pokemon experience and currently 8 gens under my belt, I have seen and met so many different Pokemon on my journey. Now, one of the biggest questions I am always asked, besides what starter I picked for that gen, is what is my favorite Pokemon, if not my most favorite Pokemon of all. Now, with so many Pokemon to choose from, I can't really narrow down who is my absolute favorite, but I can give everyone my top 5 favorite Pokemon from each generation. This video is all my personal opinion and has nothing to do with the opinions of other people and or the statistics of this game like stats or battle performance. Without further ado, let's get right into this and start out with the very first generation that took the entire world by storm. Kanto. Now, I personally think that this is one of the best ways to start off my lists, cause I give you guys and gals something to wonder, why would he even put this on here? Now, after a lot of thinking, I have decided that the number 5 spot in the one to kick off this list will be none other than Jynx. I bet people are grabbing their heads like Jackie Chan right now, wondering why the hell is this Pokemon number 5? And now just let me explain. Now, as a kid, I really didn't care much for how Pokemon looked as opposed to if they were strong in battle or not. One of those Pokemon that I gravitated towards because of its dual typing of Ice and Psychic was Jynx. No matter what team I had, whether it was in-game or in Pokemon Stadium, my Jynx would absolutely decimate most Pokemon before they even got a turn to attack. Now, as I got older, I realized that she was more of a glass cannon, but that never stopped me from using her through an entire playthrough of Pokemon Stadium, not only beating the normal mode, but the hard mode, which is straight up rigged to beat you into the ground, like right out of the gate. A very weird and controversial Pokemon, but one of my favorites nonetheless, and definitely takes the number 5 spot. Now, I honestly would feel ashamed if I didn't add this Pokemon on my top 5 list, cause even to this day, he is a powerhouse and still relevant. That being the sea serpent of nightmares, Gyarados. You know a Pokemon is badass when the show just emphasizes how dangerous and insane these Pokemon are. People everywhere fear Gyarados, and very few have actually trained them, so of course they're gonna rank on my top 5 list. This is another Pokemon that when I was a kid, I would buy the stupid Magikarp near the beginning of the game at that Pokemon Center and evolve it into the powerhouse of a water Pokemon. The fact that the game just gave us a shiny one Gen 2 literally blew me away as a kid, and I always had this Pokemon in my back pocket for when I needed to deliver some devastating damage. Remember the Jynx I just talked about? Well, in Pokemon Stadium, I vividly remember a trainer having a Gyarados that had the 4 moves Hyper Beam, Fire Blast, Blizzard, and freaking Thunder. One of the hardest battles I've ever faced, and such a worthy addition to anyone's favorite Pokemon list. This Pokemon is on my list for being just so majestic and packs surprisingly a good punch. I still absolutely adore this Pokemon to this day, which is why I thought it would be perfect to put on this list. That Pokemon being Ninetales. Now, in the very first game, this Pokemon was alright, but she got much better as the generations went on. Being able to use some psychic type moves always amazed me with this Pokemon, and I always made sure I had one in my back pocket along with a vicious Fire Blast. Being able to take a pretty good physical attack, I would use my Ninetales a lot more for fighting and normal encounters. And still to this day, I have trained so many different types of Ninetales with so many unique different playstyles and movesets. So I thought it was only fitting to put this gorgeous Pokemon as number 3 on my list. Now, when I was a kid, I was really torn between what starter I always thought was the coolest and who was the most versatile fighter to have on my team. This kinda all changed when I fell in love with dragons due to a little game by the name of Legend of the Dragoon. Being so in love with that game really drew me towards one of Pokemon's most noticeable and liked Pokemon of all time. If you haven't guessed it by now, it should be obvious that my number 2 spot belongs to Charizard. Seeing as this Pokemon is still loved by so many to this day, shouldn't come as a surprise why he is on my list. I was that kid that 9 times out of 10 would use a Charizard on his team, even though to this day I don't even play through a single generation of Pokemon not having that starter in my party, regardless of how many times I've raised one. Charizard, just in my opinion, has a very great Pokemon design and is very powerful regardless of what gen it is in. The fact all this time later this Pokemon is still getting new forms along with all the original starters should go to tell you that this Pokemon is definitely top tier and should come as no surprise as why Charizard is at the number 2 spot for today's list. These Pokemon did not make the cut, but I thought that they deserved some love in the spotlight for coming so close. Those Pokemon are Charmander, Squirtle, Bulbasaur, Charmeleon, Wartortle, Pidgeot, Arbok, Nidoqueen, Nidoking, Poliwrath, Magneton, Hitmonlee, Hitmonchan, Omastar, Ghastly, Haunter, Kabutops, Aerodactyl, Sandslash, Psyduck, Alakazam, Executor, Cubone, Marowak, Starmie, Staryu, Scyther, Vulpix, Pinsir, Lapras, Eevee, Flareon, Jolteon, Vaporeon, Dragonite, Zapdos, Articuno, Moltres, Mewtwo, Mew. Whew, that is a mouthful. My number 1 spot goes to a Pokemon that strikes fear into trainers' eyes and with the years going on has been known to be even way more aggressive and evil than we first thought. This Pokemon was the only one of its typing through Gen 1, only having its evolutionary line have the same type of course. The Pokemon I am talking about in question is none other than the corrupted spirit Gengar. Now, like I originally said, Gengar was the only ghost type in the entire first generation of Pokemon. To be honest, I had just recently found that out while researching this video, and it makes perfect sense why this Pokemon is one of my absolute favorites. Gengar in the show most of the time is very mischievous and enjoys playing lots of pranks, but the Pokedex entries for this Pokemon have been getting much darker over the years. This Pokemon even has an entry that just plainly states, if you feel a shiver down your spine, it is a Gengar. Don't run. Don't scream, cause it's already too late. Talk about one Pokemon that is just absolutely bent on killing and absorbing souls. All of the cool things that I love about Gengar, paired with my love for the paranormal, just has the perfect blend and is why I think that Gengar is by far the most favorite Pokemon of mine out of the entire Kanto region. Alrighty, there you guys and gals have it. That is my absolute top 5 favorite Pokemon from the Kanto region. Do you guys semi-agree with my list? Do you guys think it was a pretty good, like, top 5 list of favorite Pokemon, or do you guys think the list should have just been completely different? I want to hear your guys' comments and opinions down below. Do expect there to be more of these videos also, considering that there's a lot more generations of Pokemon to go through, so let's keep it going. As always, make sure that you guys smash that like button if you guys are enjoying the content that I'm bringing to you guys. Comment down below, like I said, what your guys' top 5 favorite Pokemon from the Kanto region, and if you semi-agree with my list that I put together, because, I don't know, I think this is a pretty decent list for a top 5 in my opinion. I'm very eager to see how everyone's top 5 differs from one another though. If you're really loving my content and want to be the very best like no one ever was, go ahead and sub to the channel for me and hit that bell to be notified every time that I drop a brand new video. Most importantly, don't forget that all you guys and gals are absolutely amazing. This is Veteran Trainer Hawk, signing off.